The Super Mario Galaxy movie is going to be incredible and promises to surprise all of us, both longtime Mario fans and animation lovers. But did you know that one of Bowser's most epic transformations might show up in this sequel? We're talking about Fury Bowser, Magic Paintbrush. Fury Bowser was first introduced in Bowser's Fury, a game that works as a spin-off of Super Mario 3D World. In this form, Mario's enemy is covered in a black, paint-like substance that turns him into a gigantic and extremely powerful monster. Some fans started thinking about this theory after seeing Bowser Jr. appear in the trailer, because he not only shows up, but he also uses the paint from his magic paintbrush to transform. And anyone who played Super Mario Bros. Wonder, one of the plumber's newest games, knows that this form is called Wonder Bowser Jr. What's interesting is that, in the game, Bowser Jr. doesn't get this form through his magic paintbrush. He gets it by using the Wonder Power, a special ability that comes from the unique flowers known as Wonder Flowers. The transformation's origin was probably altered to fit the movie's story better, but if that's the case, what if the magic paintbrush is also capable of giving transformations to other characters? Fury Bowser in the games already emerges from a black inky substance, so if Mario's arch-enemy gets a new form through this method in the movie, it makes total sense for it to be this one. Bowser Jr. clearly wants to rescue his father, who was imprisoned in the Mushroom Kingdom after being defeated in the first movie, so the next step after saving him might be transforming him into Fury Bowser, so the two of them can finally take over the entire Mushroom Kingdom. Pretty exciting, right? And if you still don't think this will happen, relax. By the end of this video, we'll convince you that Fury Bowser is in Super Mario Galaxy. You already know, right? Another Cinewave is starting! Rage. We don't even need to say it. If there's one emotion that perfectly describes Fury Bowser, it's anger. Seriously, his name already makes that obvious. This transformation represents all of Bowser's rage bursting out at once, and interestingly, that theme lines up perfectly with what we saw from Bowser in the Super Mario Galaxy movie trailer. After all, Bowser is locked inside a miniaturized castle, where he seems to be trying to live a slightly healthier lifestyle. He paints and takes care of bonsai trees, two perfect hobbies for someone trying to learn how to manage their negative emotions. Even so, we can see that Bowser's dark side is still present when he paints Mario as a skeleton, representing his hatred for the plumber. That dark side shows up again when Mario criticizes one of Bowser's other paintings, the one where Bowser is super buff and being admired by a Peach who's hopelessly in love with him. The villain gets so furious that he destroys the painting, only to regret it moments later and admit that he's still exorcising his demons. Bowser is clearly trying to work on his anger issues, but it's not going well, and everything could fall apart once his son shows up and uses the magic paintbrush to unleash all of Bowser's repressed rage at once, giving birth to Fury Bowser. Villain. When Bowser transforms, he'll definitely become a real threat. If he was tiny before, he'll be huge as Fury Bowser, which actually makes for a funny contrast. Before, everyone had to look down to see him, and now they'll have to look up. This may mean Bowser will in fact be the main villain of the movie, something that still isn't totally clear. Well, he was the main antagonist in both Galaxy games, so it makes perfect sense for him to be the enemy in the movie. Not to mention that he also has a giant transformation in Super Mario Galaxy 2, but the form used in that game is called Super Bowser, also known as Giant Bowser. It's another solid candidate to appear in the movie, but we think Fury Bowser fits the villain's character arc much better. Then again, the super form could be adapted as an incomplete version of Fury Bowser. So many possibilities. And if you also want to see Fury Bowser show up in the movie and unleash absolute chaos, comment down below. #Fury. Dr. Gadd. Speaking of possibilities, there's a very big chance that a certain character is behind the creation of the magic paintbrush and Fury Bowser, Dr. Gadd. This scientist is the creator of the paintbrush used by Bowser Jr. in the games, so it makes perfect sense to think that the weapon has the same origin in the movie. If that's the case, he might be the only one who knows how to defeat Fury Bowser. We're exploring the idea that this transformation will be caused by the magic paintbrush, just like Bowser Jr.'s transformation, so it makes sense that Dr. Gadd would know how to deal with this new form of the villain. Maybe there's a secret method to turn Bowser back to normal, something the scientists will end up bringing to Mario and Luigi during the movie, and it's pretty unlikely that Gadd gave his magic paintbrush to Bowser Jr. willingly. The little troublemaker must have stolen it. That's assuming he didn't force the professor to build this technology for him. For all we know, Gadd might be being held captive somewhere by Bowser Jr. and will need to be rescued by Mario's crew.
Kamek.
Another character who might have some connection to the magic paintbrush and Bowser's new transformation is Kamek, his right-hand man. The wizard followed the tyrant leader throughout the first movie, but his fate after the Koopa army's defeat is still a mystery, since we never saw him being captured. If there's anyone who has strong reasons to help Bowser Jr. rescue his father, it's Kamek, and he absolutely has the means to do it, since he's an extremely powerful wizard. He may have used his magic to create the magic paintbrush, which would explain why the powers of this weapon feel so sinister.
Redemptions.
Even though the chances of Bowser being the villain are pretty high, there are also good chances he'll end up switching sides, helping Mario and his friends defeat a greater evil. We already talked about how he seems to be trying to work through his anger issues in the trailer, and honestly, Bowser's desire to become a better person feels genuine rather than just an act. It's his transformation into Fury Bowser that will make him lose control, undoing all of his progress in an instant. But that doesn't necessarily mean this will be the end of him, because Bowser may refuse to let his rage consume him completely and try to help Luigi and Peach instead. After all, he showed in the trailer that he's become a great friend to Luigi. And as for Peach, well, Bowser loves her, and he might realize that the only way to win her over is by being a hero. The real question is, how would Bowser Jr. react when he realizes his father no longer wants to be a villain? He might hate the idea and become the movie's main antagonist, but it would also be really sweet if he decided to join the heroes out of pure love for his dad. There's a new video here every day, so subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date.
Sacrifice.
Bowser's redemption could lead to something really emotional happening at the climax of the movie, him choosing to sacrifice himself. It's easy to imagine Bowser agreeing to make a sacrifice if that were the only possible way to save Peach. Say whatever you want about that big monster, but his love for Peach seems like something pure and genuine. The problem is the way Bowser chooses to express that love. So yes, Bowser would probably be willing to give his life for the princess, and that would make everyone completely change their opinion about him. Someone who was once seen as a cruel king would now be considered a hero. Peach wouldn't fall in love with him or anything like that, but she would at least begin to respect him. But we like to think that this sacrifice wouldn't necessarily mean the end of Bowser. Super Mario is a kids franchise where characters don't usually die, so the redeemed villain might survive his attempt at sacrifice. Just picture a scene where Peach cries over Bowser, and in his supposed final words, he asks if she finally agrees to marry him. Since Peach has a pretty strong personality in this movie, she'd say something like, "Obviously not," and then Bowser would just get up looking extremely disappointed. Recent games. One argument many people use to claim that Fury Bowser doesn't make sense in Super Mario Galaxy the movie is that this transformation has no connection to the Super Mario Galaxy games, since it comes from Bowser's Fury. The two Galaxy games came out in 2007 and 2010, while Bowser's Fury was released in 2021, much more recent. For some people, bringing Fury Bowser into the movie wouldn't make sense because it would be like skipping over several older games just to adapt something far more recent in the Mario franchise. But here's the thing, the 2023 movie already did that, and the second one has already made it clear it will do the same. In the Super Mario Bros. Movie, we were introduced to the Cat Mario power-up, which first appeared in 3D Mario World. On top of that, the movie referenced Super Mario Kart and even introduced Luma, a character from the Galaxy series. In other words, the movie pulled elements from many games from completely different eras and combined them. Meanwhile, Super Mario Galaxy the movie is an adaptation of a Mario game released in the 2000s, skipping several other games that came before it: Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and many others. However, the trailer already showed that the movie will include elements from other games as well. For example, the transformation Bowser Jr. shows in the trailer is a reference to Super Mario Wonder, which came out in 2023, just months after the first movie was released. Wonder form. Speaking of that, if the magic paintbrush transforms Bowser Jr. into Wonder Bowser Jr., does that mean his father will turn into Fury Bowser? In Super Mario Wonder, the Tyrant also has a transformation themed for that game, Wonder Bowser, where he literally becomes a giant floating head. But we really believe the movie will choose the route of turning him into Fury Bowser, especially because Bowser Jr. taking on his Wonder form appearance doesn't necessarily mean much. It could simply be a fun reference to the games, since the transformation's origin this time comes from the magic paintbrush. Not to mention the whole idea that Fury Bowser fits much better with the character arc the villain seems to have in this new movie. And let's be honest, it would be way more exciting to see him turn into a huge creature consumed by darkness and pure rage than into a floating head. Although Wonder Bowser is pretty cool. Who knows, maybe he'll show up in a future movie. We've left 2 videos on your screen so you can choose and keep having fun with us. See you in the next video!